Welcome back. Now, we were still having this conversation about the deplorable nature of schools in this education sector, that I honestly don't understand what it is that we are doing in terms of, people being made to be accountable for what jobs they've been given, what assignments they've been given. So we looked at in Chimbado, in the Nanumba North district. Let's go to the eastern region. We're going to look at a Koforidua SDA school, and it's not good. Let's take a look.
Authorities at the new Javansa Municipal Assembly promised to replace the ripped-off roofing of the Ajuso SDA Basic School when I first reported about the unfortunate incident in March this year. The roof of the classroom block got ripped off after a downpour in February, destroying books and other learning materials in the process. The unfortunate incident got to the knowledge of City News when it began taking a toll on teaching and learning in the school. After last week's rain, I decided to pass by the school and check how they were doing and to see if there has been another havoc, but to my surprise, February's incident, which I reported about, is yet to be fixed. Parents who have the awards at the school are frustrated about the lack of urgency, and they have been speaking to City News.
Yeah, you see, this issue is very serious. Since January 17th that they had their roofs were being ripped off. I'm pleading that the government should see this as an urgent need, and then even the money that this Togbi Afede even returned, you can come and use part of the money he returned to come and solve this issue. In this sense, you look at people, our children are studying under the trees, which is very bad. So we are pleading on government that he should please attend to SDA school in Koforidua.
Last week's downpour has worsened the situation, as the rainwater has been collected in the open classrooms and currently serving as a breeding ground for mosquitoes. The entire structure is also soaking up with rains, which is gradually weakening the building and adjoining classes, which is used by students. Teachers and students here are scared the entire structure may collapse on them if the problem is not rectified immediately. They are not the only ones who are worried by this development, but residents in the neighborhood who use the stretch of the school and are witnesses to their current conditions are equally worried.
Looking at the way the children are even learning under the tree, I don't think it's a good thing. That means, should in case any rain that sets now, the students cannot learn, and it's not a good thing for them as we speak now. So we are entreating the government to help in fixing this problem. As you can see, when you move around, you see some drain around the classroom, and that is not a good thing at all.
Okay, we are very much worried with regards to the issue that has happened at the school. Since January, that it's rained very heavily here. Portions of the roof have gone off, and it's been reported to the assembly, and nothing so far has been done about it. My major concern has got to do with our kids who are now being schooled in one of the church premises very close by, which is not healthy. So about 2 or 3 classes have now been lumped up into one, and it's not making teaching and learning very effective. We are calling on the assembly to be up and doing. We've sent several petitions, several letters, and several words to them, and nothing has so far been done. And we don't know what the issue has got to do, or what the issue.
Ajuso Hene Nana Titi Pimpong is equally worried about the plight of both teachers and students of Ajuso SDA Basic School.
They've been coming to my palace. Then they said they are moving their children or their awards from this particular, what is called school, that's the SDA. But I don't know. I asked the headmistress to report the whole thing to the assembly. And up till now, almost since last just January, February, till now, nothing has been done about that. So I'm appealing to the authorities, that the municipal assembly, to consider this and then do something about it, because the parents and then the teachers and then the school authorities, they are all worried about the whole. Even as a chief, I'm also worried.
This current condition has forced some of the teachers to organize classes under trees, and the SDA church graciously also opened up the church auditorium for the JHS students to hold their classes there. But the open nature of the place often disrupts the attention of the students. Pastor Osei Bonsu Sapon is the regional manager of SDA schools in the Eastern region.
So happened that when the rains were about starting, we had the school building ripped off, and we felt that it's right to see to it that the students are not disturbed by the rains and the rifting of the roof. And so we decided to give them our church hall to be used for interim. We then went to see the appropriate officers, that is the MCE, and we also talked to the Directorate, Education Directorate, New Jaben South, and they all promised that it will be worked on as soon as practicable. Unfortunately, till now, they haven't come.
A Get Fund classroom project has been stalled for years now. The school's old washroom, which was demolished by the contractor to make way for the construction of a new one, has also been stored, and the current situation has given room for open defecation, which also puts the lives of students who resort to the bushes at risk of being attacked by reptiles. For Pastor Osebonsu, this is worrisome.
It's so worrisome, so bad. What else can I say? The immediate solution from the church is that we've offered them that of the church's lavatory to be used, but you know the number and that which was built for the church, and so that is the problem we also encountering here. People come to have it done there. We've also spoken to the MCE, who said he was going to see to that also. Fact, this adjoining new block, the contractor passed away. That is why we haven't finished. He was supposed to have also done that also for us.
So parents who have the awards here at the SDA Basic School at Ajuso Senate Flats have begun taking the awards from this particular school as a result of the inability of the assembly to replace the structure which was ripped off. Now, the church has graciously offered them the opportunity to use this church auditorium, but this is also coming at a cost to the church, and they are calling on city authorities to have the building roof replaced.
Well,
it doesn't get any better, does it? It's only getting worse.
For schools that have church affiliation, though, what's the, we heard some time ago that the government was considering letting missions reclaim some kind of authority or role over their schools. We don't know what happened to that. It looks as though if the government cannot support some of these schools that have a mission connection, why not the churches take them back?
Some of the very best basic schools in the country, especially the Catholics, they do very well.
We do.
The very best, you're Catholic. One of the very best schools. Some of the very best schools across the country. You can, the regional capitals, you can mention almost every regional capital. The best schools are the Catholic schools. Yes. And they do,
and the other Orthodox churches as well.
Presby, Anglican, Methodist. And the rest. But the Catholics, especially those that are run by the nuns and the fathers, are absolutely wonderful. And so I think that it's not just about changing school uniforms, which we have seen that now almost nobody wears except the DA and the MA and those schools. But the schools for the churches, they've all changed their uniforms now. I think that if government is handing a certain level of control back to the schools and they want to run the schools properly, I think sometimes it must also help. It's good that as an action of first instance, they decided to give out their church hall for schools to go on. But I think out of the widow's mite, I mean, if the offertory for 2 Sundays are dedicated into this project, it can help fix that. But what is even more scandalous, much more scandalous for me, is the fact that, of course, Onchimbado is somewhere in the north, remote. But it's much more scandalous that this is the regional capital. Yeah, regional capital of the Eastern region, in Ghana. Regional capital, not some obscure village somewhere. Regional capital. And your school, the school is this bad.
My curiosity, though, and I don't know, you can help us to understand this. The church set up the school. These schools set up by churches have been taken over by government for that's G years.
Yeah, but some of them still maintain. I think for some of the schools, the churches decide to make them, to run them. Like, for instance, what comes to my mind, coming to my mind is Christ the King. Okay. Christ the King is a Catholic school through and through. I think the church runs it.
So the church runs
the school. They pay school fees. So it's like it's a church school.
It's a private school.
It's a church school that's run as a private school, not taken over by government.
Yes.
There are so many
so there are those kinds of schools.
Yes. For those who grew up in Sudan, for instance, I can give 2 examples. The Catholic Church has schools that has its so there is Holy Spirit, there is St. Mary's. These are arguably the best schools in Sudan. They are run by the Christ the King model. The Catholic Church has its nuns who run the school, and then there are schools like Sacred Heart and St. Patrick. Those are also Catholic schools, but they are government Catholic schools. Okay. So it depends on the model that the church is
because I think that if government can't handle it, leave it, let the church take over. Yeah. Give it back to the church. You know that I mean, you can't do this Konongo-Kayak type of behavior where you say, I want to take over all of these schools, and yet you can't handle them. If you can't handle them, the church built it without your help. So what's your problem? You understand? I mean, I don't get it. The church built it. You didn't have a school there. The church has built the school.
I think that
leave it back to them. Let them run it.
I think another thing the government is afraid of is that if they hand it back to the churches would want to take fees to maintain the school.
Yeah, but then it becomes a private school.
It becomes a private school, which may then defeat this whole FQ thing that government is trying to do.
But then it would also free up resources to rehabilitate the government schools.
Because I'm sure if it were to be, I mean, if the SDA school, and the SDA school has Laboni SDA.
Yeah.
Another very, very, very popular and very good school.
Exactly. Yes. So if you have, and you know, most of the churches we're mentioning, you've got a nationwide network of churches. So you've got a school like this, maybe in a more deprived area. So then the branches of the church in the affluent areas, it's okay, we're doing this week's collection, we're adopting the school, blah, blah, blah. That's how it works.
Yes. And it's always worked very well. Listen, even when you're talking about the basic schools and that some of the best basic schools in the country, let's go into the secondary schools. Look at the secondary schools.
Of course, I mean that one is a different issue.
It's reputed across the country. The best schools were all the
mission
schools.
Take the top 10
you went there.
All mission schools. Do you see? So for me, I mean, I think government should rethink the model that is using. You know, they are government schools. Take care of them properly. The ones that you can shut off and let the churches handle them, shut off and have enough money to handle, you know, what it is. Because I would rather we said that these schools are not under government at all, and let them find their level. The churches will handle, and then they will find their level. They'll privatize, they'll take fees, whatever. That's what's happening there. Rather than this, we are pretending that we are running an FQ system.
And it's not working.
And it's not working. I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree.
Eastern region, please. Regional Minister, I beg you, do something about it. MC, do something about it. It's bad. No good. It's very bad. And this is within it's not flat. It's an affluent place. The Koforidua Snake Flats. That's where this is where the school is located.
Wow.
And you have a school in such a deplorable condition. Please.
No good.
The authorities do something about SDA Church. Please dedicate your offering, a part of the offertory for the next. You are doing well by giving your church hall, but please do something about the school too.
But you see, Duke, my challenge is if government, you see, on one hand, you say, okay,
let's say that the father you've given the school to is being irresponsible.
Yeah.
Will you be there? Will you sit down and watch?
No,
so you can do something about
collect your child back. Yeah, it's not that the father is being irresponsible and then I'm sending money so that the father can keep being irresponsible.
So that the upkeep of the child will be good.
Meanwhile, this irresponsible father is going to chop the money that you are sending.
It depends on who you give it to.
Depends on who you give it to. Oh. No, but we can't. I mean, we know that this shouldn't be Dr. Lithium's headache, but it should. He's the minister.
Of course,
it has to be.
But there are agencies that exist to make sure this kind of stuff is taken care of. But ultimately, it's a sector.
Yeah, but this is a school that is being run through a collaboration with the state authorities and the church. And usually, because under the current system that is being run, the churches have left a greater part of everything to government. The government is the first use. I mean, we heard what the chief said. We heard what the suggestions the residents gave, you know, and all of that. So it means that they are looking up to government to do something about the school. And the parents who can afford it, they are taking their kids out of the school.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because, of course, if something happens, so
see.
Parents are ultimately responsible for their children. So,
yes, you know, and those who can afford to give their children something better,
they will.
That's what you do.
If the government cannot provide good education, for at least ensure that a minimum standard, a minimum level of education is provided for citizens. I mean,
so imagine the same parents who are taking their kids out, right? They're going to probably go and pay for their kids to attend school somewhere else, which means they could pay fees for this school and keep the school.
That's why I say government, stop the games. Let's just, say that we can't handle all of this. Let's do something and we'll leave the rest. That's all.
There's nothing wrong with that. Thank you.
No, actually, there's nobody in Ghana now who can pay that will send their kid to a public school.
Yeah, of course.
Nobody. It's those who cannot pay. Genuinely cannot pay that send their kids to public school.
Anyway, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much. All right. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. There's more to come.